Mouse Rebel News fans, a story is developing right now in China over a man who, in a wheelchair, brought himself into the Beijing Capital International Airport and set off a bomb. The man is not dead, nor does it appear that he's killed anyone else. According to the South China Morning Post, the man was rushed to the hospital, is being treated for his injuries, according to officials. Now, the government has not spoken on why they think the man did this, but according to Twitter, he allegedly tried to blow himself because as a protest for police brutality that he suffered in 2005 that left him disabled. The suspect behind the blast in the arrivals hall of Terminal 3 of the Beijing airport has been identified as 34-year-old Ji Zhangxing from Shandong. CCTV News reported. The Sinoweibo microblog of the state broadcaster China Central Television said the man detonated a package of black gunpowder used to make firecrackers just outside the international arrivals exit. Now, there were some witnesses that took to Twitter. They claimed that the wheelchair-bound man waved his arms and shouted in an apparent attempt to attract attention before he detonated the device. Xinhua also cited witnesses saying that the man was handing out leaflets with unspecified complaints on them right before the blast. Now, the bomber was allegedly protesting a beating that he allegedly received, although it seems very likely he did, at the hands of police in Guangdong province, the manufacturing hub of Dongguan, Dongguan, in 2005, and that this is a kind of protest action that he took. Now, what we can see here is a contradiction, once again, of capitalism between the people and the government. Ever since China's direct path back towards capitalism under the reforms brought through by Deng Xiaoping, the contradictions between the people and the ruling elite, or particularly the ruling class, the capitalist class, more and more social antagonists have popped up. In fact, in the last while, at least even since the 2008 global collapse of capitalism, China has had a renewed surge in unions, social unrest around factories, works, people protesting government corruption, and all kinds of things like that. Now, what we can definitely understand, it seems like this man would not have really just blown himself up for nothing, barring any investigation saying that he is a mental patient of some kind, like he has psychological issues. It would seem very likely that this is a desperation tactic to strike back at an enemy who has harmed him in this way. Now, these things happen because the government is repressive. The government, as a tool of the capitalist class, is trying to keep people down because these two forces, the people and the ruling elite, are in contradiction, and thus they are always going to be in conflict with each other until one side's been destroyed. And, well, quite frankly, the world doesn't exist without workers. It's the bosses who have to go in the end. Now, these increased antagonisms due to the recession is leading to more and more desperate acts on both sides. The capitalist class has to put further and further deeper exploitation in order to make profits. And thus, as a result, the people of China, the working class, have to strike back even harder against the unjust exploitation that's being brought against them. So situations like this, which would be very minimal in, say, a social democratic society, are now much, much worse in a situation like China. Expect things like this to start becoming more and more common in China as the recession begins to hit them even harder and people begin to resist government oppression even harder.